Mr. President, the worth of a nation can be measured by what it honors and what it neglects. In a quiet spot among the rolling hills of Monroe County, Indiana, the statue of a young soldier keeps watch over a lonely cemetery. The doughboy stands at parade rest, campaign hat atop his head, canteen and trench digger on his cartridge belt, Springfield rifle by his side. Nearby, a wreath ringed with red, white, and blue flowers rests on a grave. It was Americans like Private Thomas Forest Riddle who helped win the Great War, but not without terrible, terrible sacrifice. As we prepare to observe Memorial Day this year, we honor all Americans who've risked their lives and in many cases, given their lives for our liberty. In April 1917, America formally entered what we now call World War I after votes in this building. And 2 months later, Private Riddle, a 21-year-old farm boy from Unionville, Indiana, reported for duty. He visited a recruiting station right down the road in Martinsville, next door to where I live today. The first doughboys deployed in the summer of 1917, but it wasn't until the following year that the hastily mobilized and inexperienced American Expeditionary Force, known as AEF, arrived in numbers. And Private Riddle was assigned to Company D, Delta Company, of the 12th Machine Gun Battalion, 4th Division. In June 1918, the battalion packed into the Aquitania, and it sailed for France. That spring, the Germans determined to split the Allied lines and make one final push towards Paris. Private Riddle helped halt the enemy's march and prove the AEF's mettle. When the American Army launched its largest offensive on the front running from the Argonne Forest to the Meuse River, it was Private Riddle among the 1.2 million soldiers who broke the German Army's spirit and forced its government to surrender. The Americans' initial arrival at the front was greeted with joy from civilians and soldiers alike. A British nurse recalled the dignity of their march, the self-assurance on their faces. They were, she said, so godlike, so magnificent, so splendidly unimpaired in comparison with the tired, nerve-wracked men of the British Army. But make no mistake, they were not gods. They were hurriedly trained, untested boys asked to accomplish this seemingly impossible. And they did so at enormous cost. During that offensive, over 26,000 of them laid down their lives, the single deadliest campaign in our nation's history. The survivors suffered terribly, too. You see, the sheer devastation of World War I and the trauma faced by those who fought it was unprecedented. We forget today. Miserable trenches and never-ceasing artillery assaults. The terror of tanks and aerial bombardments. Battle through barbed wire at the point of a bayonet. And the mental and physical trauma that accompanied it all. The exhaustion, the confusion, the tremors, the nightmares. Private Riddle survived Chateau Thierry and Meuse-Argonne. But he was a casualty still. Gassed, shell-shocked, he returned to Unionville, Indiana in February 1919, weakened in the midst of an influenza epidemic, and he was immediately stricken by the virus. Sick, he laid in bed delirious. reliving the horrific battles and broken sentences, recounting the shock of exploding shells. And he passed on February 21st, 1919. In an incredible tragedy, Thomas's younger brother, Raymond, had died the day before, also taken by influenza. They were preceded in death by a sister, Amanda, a month before. It was their grandmother who paid $500 for a sculptor to create the likeness of Private Riddle in limestone, to stand near his and Raymond's graves in the cemetery behind Pleasant View's Baptist Church in Unionville. She did this, no doubt, so that her grandson's sacrifice for our nation, which landed his name in Indiana's Gold Star Honor Roll, would never be forgotten. And so today, we resolve to never forget. Whether they be in country churchyards or on the National Mall, we build tributes to our soldiers for the same reason we celebrate Memorial Day. Monuments and a day of national reflection are reminders of our enduring debt. But they're more than that. They're warnings, too. If we should ever forget our fallen, we will in time cease to be free. Sadly, that warning is not always heeded. In the summer of 2004, vandals snuck into Pleasant View Cemetery and smashed the statue of Private Riddle to pieces, breaking it at the knees, severing its head. This wasn't simply the destruction of a piece of art. Knowingly or not, it was the desecration of a promise. We don't glory in war, but we do honor the glorious deeds of the men and women who, at the last resort, are called to defend our liberties. The memory of those who do so is as sacred as our flag. We stake our republic on a promise to honor them always, and of course, to care for those they leave behind, and to do everything in our power to prevent future Americans from joining their ranks. It's been alleged throughout history that republics are ungrateful, self-obsessed, self-absorbed, selfish, self-regarding. America has consistently proven otherwise. If you ever doubt this, visit Pleasant View Cemetery in Monroe County, Indiana. You see, the people of Unionville were heartbroken when the monument to Private Riddle was knocked down. So Edith Clark, the cemetery's caretaker, paid $600 to have the sculpture restored and resurrected. Then the community held a bake and yard sale to help her recover the cost. Patriotism. Never forget it. So today, he shows where the brim of his hat's broken, the bayonet from his rifle is lost, part of his ear is missing, so are a few fingers. But Private Thomas Forest Riddle stands once more, and his memory remains. His watch continues, and America's gratitude goes on. So today we remember Private Riddle and all who have given their lives for our freedom on this grand Memorial Day. Thank you, Mr. President.